Hey, what's up guys? So we are going to be going over two great XCs in the game right now, especially if you're playing heroes, because not only can you play Elemental Dragons and Spellbooks, but Heroes is actually still a viable deck. Even in the OCG, it's still been topping. Heroes will always be topping in the OCGs. They love that deck so much, and especially with Blade Armor Ninja and Excalibur, easy access to them, it makes them able to OTK so fast. Also, perhaps Noble Knights in the future might be good, because Konami keeps on releasing support for them. So in the future, if Noble Knights are ever good, these are great cards. And let's go over the pros and the cons. So that means the goods and the bads. Depending on which situation you're in, maybe you want to make Excalibur, maybe you want to make Blade Armor Ninja, and I'm here to help you guys decide what situation calls for which card. So first off, let's go over their effects real quick, and then we're going to explain why you want to make one card over the other. So we'll go over Blade Armor Ninja, and her effect, I think it's a girl, is, well, she's a wind, and that's the difference in the actual card. But they both require 2 level 4 warrior type monsters. And the effect of Blade Armor Ninja is, once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card to target 1 face-up ninja monster you control. This turn, that monster can attack twice during each battle phase. So, the pluses with that is, you know, if there's 2 monsters on the field already, you can attack 2 monsters. I mean, that should be self-explanatory. But, for example, if you know your opponent is playing Gravekeepers, and perhaps they don't have a Necro Valley out, and, you know, they have a face-down card, you might want to go for Blade Armor Ninja, because why would you want to make Excalibur and go for a 4,000 attacker only to deal no damage and hit a face-down and have the effect wear off? But Blade Armor Ninja is awesome in that aspect where you can attack 2 monsters, because if you attack in a spy and they get out, you know, any other monster, you can pretty much just kill it. I mean, without Necro Valley, Spy is not going to survive. But, yeah, like I said, if there's multiple monsters, Blade Armor Ninja is definitely superior in that aspect. Another thing with Blade Armor Ninja that would be great is whenever you're attacking directly, I would much rather make a Blade Armor Ninja, because I don't want to run into a Gores that has lots of attack, because if I go for an Excalibur, Excalibur has 4,000 attack, and I don't want my opponent to have a 4,000 token, because keep in mind that your Excalibur only has the effect until your opponent's next end phase. So then your opponent will still have a 2,700 attacker, and they will also still have a 4,000 token, and you just have a 2,000 monster on board. Unless they're under 4,000 life points, then yeah, and you're attacking directly, then yeah, Excalibur probably would be a better option. But we'll go over Excalibur in a moment. Also, the effect of Blade Armor Ninja can be used again. If Blade Armor Ninja gets effect veilered, you can still use the effect next turn, perhaps. Where Excalibur, you have to detach 2 materials in order to activate his effect. So that can be a downside depending on what deck you're playing. Because maybe you still want to actually detach those 2, and we'll get into that in a moment. Tactically, Blade Armor Ninja does put more damage on the board. She hits for 4,400 total, so it's additional 400 damage, and you might not think that that's a lot, but if you can calculate some stuff out, maybe that will end the game faster, because, you know, they're at a certain amount of life points where that actually would make a difference. Also, another plus to Blade Armor Ninja, since she can attack twice, is that if you're playing anything that uses equip spells, whether it's United We Stand, Axe of Despair, technically Blade Armor Ninja will get, you know, 2 attacks, so you get the effect of the equip spell twice. So keep that in mind as well. Now let's go over Heroic Champion Excalibur. So let's go over his effect. So he's a light, and he again requires 2 level 4 warrior type monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card. This card's attack becomes double its original attack until your opponent's next end phase. So with that said, basically he's a 4,000 attacker, and he essentially can't be destroyed by battle until your opponent's next end phase, because nothing really in the game right now can really deal with a 4,000 attacker by destroying it by battle. Sure, you can banish it, you can destroy it by card effects, you can bounce it back with Compulse, but there's not really anything in the metagame that people are playing that has over 4,000 attack. Originally we had that 5-headed dragon back when Future Fusion was legal, but generally you're not going to have Excalibur being destroyed by battle. So he basically is a safer card. If you want something to, you know, you want to get lots of damage in, and then you want to survive next turn, I would say Excalibur is a much safer card to go for, because if you're in a position where you don't want to take any damage, you could potentially lose, Excalibur will be there, because, you know, 4,000 attack, nothing's really getting over that. So, the plus side to going for Excalibur versus going for Blade Armor Ninja, he is light, first off, so that means you can play Honest, and Honest is a pretty good card. No one's going to really run over him anyways, but, you know, just in case that they happen to run over him during your opponent's next turn, you know, you can just drop an Honest, but more than likely you're probably just going to you know, have him not be attacked that turn, and then on the next turn they were going to try to attack him, and then you could drop Honest and secure victory through that. Another plus, or you can argue it's definitely a negative effect as well, depending on what deck you're playing in. Keep that in mind as well. You detach 2 materials, so that means that after you go for Excalibur in any hero variant, as long as both the cards are heroes, you can activate Miracle Fusion immediately, and that's pretty good. You go, I got a 4,000 attacker, I Miracle Fusion for, let's say, Elemental Hero, the Shining. I have 4,000 on board and an additional 3,200 attacker. I pretty much almost have game. Maybe I need to go for Gaga Gunman later and finish you off, but definitely you can almost game someone with Excalibur plus like a Miracle Fusion. Also, if they have 4,000 or under, I would go for Excalibur, because then that way they cannot drop Gores or Tragodia. So keep that in mind as well. Another thing is, Excalibur is technically light, so if you're playing any variant that plays Blackluster Soldier, he is a light, so that definitely works out in your favor. As far as Blade Armor Ninja, she is wind. If you're going to be playing Dark Simorgh, yeah, you can definitely utilize that. But I really think that Excalibur is an awesome card if you want to survive. That's what it comes down to. If you're looking to make a huge push and then have your monster survive, Excalibur has a much better chance at surviving than Blade Armor Ninja. Blade Armor Ninja doesn't have, that much of attack. You can put a lot of attack on board, but depending on what situation, now that you know what cards are better for what situation, Blade Armor Ninja comes down to if they have multiple monsters, is really what it comes down to. Or if you know your opponent has an effect Veiler, I would probably make Blade Armor Ninja, especially if you know that you can protect your Blade Armor Ninja. You got maybe Solemn Warning face down or something like that. If you can protect Blade Armor Ninja, because there's cards like Pod Duality where they can add an effect Veiler, and then you just know, and you're like, well, there's no point to go for Excalibur when I can just go Blade Armor Ninja and then get its effect again, and that's another plus with Blade Armor Ninja. But I hope this helps you guys out decide which card to go for in which situation, because I think these are great cards, especially if you're looking to maybe play a budget deck. Once the Elemental Dragons and Spellbooks are the highest of tier decks, heroes can still definitely deal some damage. You can still win. They're top all the time in the OCG. Just remember to go all in all the time with heroes. That's how you win, especially against Spellbooks, because Spellbooks generally they just have Spellbook of Fate, and that's like the only actual back row that they really use. But anyways, thanks for watching. Asian Eyes signing out.